Yes, yes, yes. It's your girl Zahara Gihana saying hello and good evening to the beautiful, fantastic, fantabulous Miss Michelle A. Douglas and Australia, our audience. I want to say welcome, 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 and let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. We've got with us tonight World's Miss Tourism Elite 2024. Yes, honey.
Thank you.
Represent. How
Oh,
are you, Michelle?
we have the sash on, so there's the crown that matches the sash.
Oh, yes. Lovely. Lovely.
I'm
Okay.
doing good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking the time to be with us this evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How's your daughter doing?
She's doing good. She's in recovery. She's in the other room, so she
Will,
can't
will
get
you,
up and walk around.
do you mind letting us know what went on?
Oh, she popped a band in her knee that they had to remove and all the soft tissue around it. Playing basketball. She's on the school basketball team. And so they had to go and remove it, and they made sure nothing structurally was wrong. And nothing was. So now it's the healing process, hoping we're healed in time for track season.
All right. She's a
Yes.
strong young lady then. I
Oh,
already know that.
she is built like an ox. I mean, 14 years old. She's 5'10". I'm like right here, and she's up here. So, yeah. Yeah.
Well, fabulous. Does she model as well? I'm sorry. I lost your mic. Hello? Louis, can you hear her? Mm-mm. Let me go out and come back in. Go out and come back in. Well, we're going to be talking to Miss World's Miss Tourism Elite 2024 this evening. And she's going to tell us all about pageantry and how she became Miss Tourism Elite 2024. We are looking so forward to talking to her tonight. I've been trying to get her on the show for the last several weeks, and it's been one thing after another, so I'm really happy to finally have her on. We're having some technical difficulties, so just bear with us, everyone, please. We truly appreciate it. In the meantime, if you want to get in touch with Michelle, it's Michelle A. Douglas at yahoo.com. And you could ask her all kinds of questions about possibly getting into pageantry if you're interested in doing pageants. So that's a whole different side of the modeling industry. And it's a whole different walk and a whole different look. There she is.
Yes, I told everybody, do not call me, do not message me, nothing. And of course, one of my sisters has to call me.
Of
So,
course.
of course.
Of course. I was just telling everybody your email and how to contact you,
Yes.
and I want to dive right into it. How is it to be a parent and be doing what you're doing? How do you juggle this job?
Well, I only have two. My youngest two are still at home, my 16-year-old son and my 14-year-old daughter. So my other three are grown. They're over 21 and have lives of their own going on. My youngest daughter is the whole reason why I'm back into it. I did the
Oh,
modeling
really?
stuff when I was younger. And we were doing a pageant that she was like, Mom, it's got a mommy and me thing in it. You got to do this with me. And I'm like, no, 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 no. She convinced me. And then, of course, we did another one and another one. And then it just snowballed from there.
Oh,
So it's
really?
something that I share with her. Usually my son would go with us when he was younger. But now that he's older, of course, it's too uncool. So he usually goes to his dad's house.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
it's
not
crazy.
cool to hang out with mom and sis doing these things.
No,
Oh,
no. When
you
he
probably
was,
could be a male model.
I don't know. My platform is autism and PTSD awareness.
Okay.
It goes with disabilities and acceptance, and so he is autistic, and that's why I have the autism
Oh,
center.
okay.
So
I
he
look,
just
I know some autistic models. Why you playing? Yes, we do. And some disabled models too. They'll model in
exactly
a chair.
yes.
So tell me more about your platform.
Basically, it started because of him, and then it grew because of someone that is very close to me that is dealing with PTSD, severe PTSD from the
Mm-hmm.
start. And a lot of people don't realize there's different forms of PTSD. You can have chronic or you can have situational.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so a lot of people just don't pay attention to it and they don't realize how it actually is with somebody. They don't understand the triggers and things that go about with it. And the slightest thing can be a trigger, and misunderstanding could be a trigger. So it's just kind of it goes in hand with the disabilities and acceptance because it's at some point it's a hidden disability.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one that you can just look at somebody and say, oh, well, this is what they've got wrong with them. I've had people that looked at my son and they're like, no, even my own mom actually didn't understand the whole autistic. And she spent some
Oh.
time with him when we were overseas visiting family and was like, oh, now I see it. And I'm like, yes.
Uh-huh.
And I tell people, spend an hour with them. You're going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of goes hand in hand with that, um, just because it is something that I'm dealing with firsthand in my life, between my
Mm-hmm.
son and someone that's extremely close to me. So it just kind of seemed to make sense to bring awareness to all of it.
Well, that's good. And I see you're doing that globally.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Because of the Miss Tourism pageants, actually, we have to have our platform. We have to do different things, spreading the word, doing challenges, and speaking engagements and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that, when I see something that is posted or somebody says something, then I'll speak up and I'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, this is what I've heard, but you don't really understand. This is what it's about. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's spreading the word, whether it's posting something on a social media platform, which I have all of them between TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And, I have all of it, whether it's posting on that, whether it's a speaking engagement where somebody asks me to come and speak between the Rotaries or other groups that, they do things. It's basically just getting the word out, making people understand that, saying certain things can be hurtful and
Mm-hmm.
needing to accept where people stand and where they
Right.
are. And because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So people
Exactly.
fight the fight. People with autism, they weren't asked to be born that way. People with PTSD, they weren't asked to go through the things that they're having to go through on a daily basis that we don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
We get up and we take care of our day. And I mean, yes, I deal with my son, but when you get up and something in your mind gets triggered and you're afraid to leave your place, you start talking to somebody and some misunderstanding has happened because it's something that's said is taken the wrong way. Their mind goes into a dark place and they're not able to get out of it sometimes for a while. And they start thinking different things. And it was brought to my attention because of um, Vicky being extremely close to myself and my children,
Mm-hmm.
that she's an Air Force veteran,
Mm-hmm.
and 22 veterans a day die because of PTSD. And
What?
for others, yes, 22 a
Did
day.
I know that?
Yes, that is the statistic that is out with veterans, because a lot of them are fighting to
Uh-huh.
get benefits and they're fighting to get help.
Wow.
And that help is sometimes not there. She's been fighting forever, and the VA has just finally started doing her stuff to get her the help that she needs and everything. But others go without it, and
When
our
you say
veterans
her
kind of
stuff, are
push
you talking about paperwork, getting paperwork done in
just
order to be able
getting
to?
getting anything. They fight, they go, they enlist, they go and serve our country, and things happen to them that should never happen. They see things they should never see, and then they fight to get their benefits because the government says, "Oh, well,
Wow.
we're not seeing this." And it's like they're not really, they push the veterans to the very back. But there are also children that go through different things. PTSD can hit anybody
Mm-hmm.
with a traumatic event, not just those that are serving, which is the most common that we see is with our veterans and stuff. And it needs to be brought forward. They don't need to be fighting to get what they deserve for enlisting.
Right.
But children go through it with abuse. And, there's so many people out there that do suffer with different forms of it. And I honestly myself did not realize the different forms that there were between the severe to the non-severe. I mean, just anything that you go through that's traumatic can cause an issue. And then with my son being autistic, he has his little triggers of meltdowns and sensory overloads and stuff. And
Oh,
so
what does that
I
look like
feel
for you on a daily basis? Does it happen daily? Is it?
sometimes it does. I mean, he's a little older now, so um the triggers aren't as bad, but his moods will kind of change. We'll be
Mm-hmm.
talking and I may make a joke and he might take it the wrong way, and so he'll close up and then sometimes get angry, sometimes just get sad. Used to be when he was younger, it would be something would be said, we couldn't make jokes with him because
Mm-hmm.
he would just his mind would just shut down and he would cry.
Oh,
And
wow.
yes, there is a lot of the rocking back and forth. There's a lot of schedule changes. Then his mind gets blown basically. And I would be, okay, remember, we're going to be doing this at this time. And
Mm-hmm.
just to try to get him into where he needed to be. So his mind's already thinking about it because he doesn't take change very well. So,
Okay.
the PTSD, I mean, there was a misstanding earlier today. So I've been dealing with, okay, this misunderstanding. I need to let her, kind of cool off and realize it was a misunderstanding of something that was said, that's not, you know, how it was meant. So, I mean, there's so many different factors in all of it between any hidden disability that people just don't understand. And I want to bring awareness to all of it to
You're
show them.
so strong. You're so
Thank
strong.
you.
You're
I don't
welcome.
feel like it on some days. There are some days that, with 5 kids, I have felt like a failure, which every mom goes through that. And everybody that has anybody that's dealing with the autism or PTSD or any hidden disability
Mm-hmm.
goes through days where they feel like everything they're saying or doing is wrong and that they're not helping, they're making things worse. But if we don't talk about it and bring awareness to it, then people aren't going to understand it. They're not going to
You're
know
absolutely right.
what they need to do.
And
So,
that's what this show is about, is talking about things like this and in all aspects of the industry, and how we deal with these emotions that we have to have, because you're a caregiver. And
mhm.
being a caregiver, you don't always take care of yourself.
Yeah, sometimes it's being put on the back burner. And, there are days when Patrick was little, that it was, um, mom would try to squeeze in a midnight shower because
Mm,
I know, when he was going to wake up, something was going to trigger. He was going to have a nightmare. We'd be up for hours crying, or he'd be rocking. And so, yeah, there's a lot of times that it's, just trying to take care of things and keep him in order. It's easier now that he's getting older, but it's also a little bit more challenging because he's trying to get his driver's license. And yeah, mom's not ready for that. I can tell you, I am not ready for that.
well, on the spectrum, he must be high functioning. I've heard the
He
term
is.
high functioning autistic.
He is. He's in mainstream classes. He's doing great in school. He plays basketball. He helps. He does the basketball books for the junior high, and I
Mhm.
mean, he's doing things. He's talking about college. So I mean, there's so many different things going through his head at different times. So it's just kind of a challenge trying to keep up with it because he's
Mhm.
trying to be the big 16-year-old,
Mhm.
and mentally, there are some times that it's not basically on the page. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's a struggle. There are some days it's a struggle, but it's a learning deal every day. It's learning
Wow.
about all of it. So
Well, thank you for sharing all of that. I truly appreciate you doing that, because it talks about how you're a caregiver, how you're a mom, in this industry. Speaking of the industry, what inspired you to begin modeling, Michelle?
I did mannequin modeling, store modeling, and things when I was in high school and in college.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought all of that was done. I never expected to be back into it, especially with the first time that I went to New York Fashion Week. I was 47, 47
What?
years old. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Look
I had won a
at
fashion
that.
model category with the Miss Tourism pageant. I had actually got first runner up to the World Tourism title for the
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Group, and I won the fashion model. And I was invited to New York Fashion Week as a model. So 3 years ago, I went just as a model. The
Mm-hmm.
last 2 years, I've been there modeling and as a designer. And I never really
Wait,
thought I'd
wait,
get back to
wait,
it.
Michelle. Wait a minute. You did add a designer onto your plate.
Yes,
Wait a minute.
I do. When my youngest daughter, when Elizabeth started doing pageants at 4,
Mm-hmm.
I bought
Mm-hmm.
her first gown because I was like, okay, she's not going to want all the fuss of getting the hair done and things like that. We only did natural at that time. Um, it kind of grew from there, and I realized I'd kind of created a monster. And so we no end in sight. And so I learned at 5.5 years old how to use a needle and thread, making Barbie
Ah.
clothes. And
Ah.
so how to wrap the material and pin it and cut it and sew it
Uh-huh.
together and everything. So I was like, okay, I know how to sew. I'll just start making her gowns. And that's when it all started. And she'd outgrow them and I'd sell them. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well then when I started into it, when she's like, Mom, you need to do this. And
Uh-huh.
so like, okay, I can throw some material together and make stuff. And that's basically how it started. And I started just selling, people see something and they're like, hey, where did you get that? Well, I made it. And so I
Mm-hmm.
make some alterations to fit them, but then it just went from there. And when I did the first New York Fashion Week, the director that I was walking for, he was just like, wait, you're a designer? It's like, yeah, I make all of our gowns. And he's like, okay, how many gowns you got? And so I started doing shows with the Beautiful You Fashion Tour. And
Wow.
he was like, I want to see these. And so I've done 3 years at New York Fashion Week, the first as
Mm-hmm.
a model, the last two modeling and designing. I've done LA Fashion Week. I have a few
Okay.
gowns that are in a store in LA.
Uh-huh.
And I've done the Magnifique with Victoria Henley
All
show
right. Right.
in the last 2 years in Gulfport, Mississippi. And I've
Yeah.
won top overall designer. So,
Yes.
yes,
You was
yes.
holding out on me. You had a lot to tell me tonight.
Oh, it's been crazy. I never thought making gowns. I was just making it for my daughter and I. I never
Right.
thought they would actually hit a runway, much less, me being on a runway modeling and stuff. I mean, I'm 50 years old. I turned 51 in March.
Oh,
And
looking good,
yes,
girl.
thank
Looking
you.
good.
I try. But I mean, all of it's I wasn't planning it. It wasn't where I saw my life going. I mean, my daughter and I have done pageants together for all these years, and then the Miss Tourism pageants just it took off. I mean, my first year I won international, first runner up to the Ms. Tourism title, and
Mm-hmm.
the next year, I'd gone through some things that I didn't really feel like I needed to be there, and I wasn't really putting my all into it. And then the next
Right.
year was okay. I'm here. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
do this and I won the Miss Tourism tour actual title of World Ms. Tourism
Elite.
2023. And then I thought I was, this last year I was going to be crowning my successor last July in Nashville. I was going to crown my successor, do my final walk, deciding if I wanted to compete again. And the elite title was actually an invitation title by the director.
Mm-hmm.
And we have challenges we have to do. We have speaking engagements we have to do. We have different
Yeah, you
things.
have to explain that. What do you mean by challenges?
They give challenges basically with the Miss Tourism pageant. You are made to step out of your comfort zone. We have
Ah,
girls scared to death, like my Elizabeth is terrified to be on stage. And so it gets them to where they can public speak and talk about different things because of the categories that we have to do during the pageant, the live pageant. They have to speak, do monologues. They have to talk about the state they're from and make a costume. So different challenges throughout the year could be um, just we do like scavenger hunts and do pictures. We have anything that we do that we're out in the public eye, we have to talk about it. We have to show pictures, we have to post. And it makes them kind of open up a little bit to where they may be nervous, but they're still going to have to get on there and do a video and talk about things. And so, I mean, mine, Elizabeth was terrified being on stage. She's actually going to sing as a talent this year because she's starting to come out of that shell. So it brings them out of a shell. It gets them in the public eye. It makes it to where their public speaking is so much better. And they're able to actually carry on a conversation with somebody and not freak out or freeze or get tongue tied and I mean, as an adults, we still get tongue tied. So imagine what it's like for kids. So, and your sound is gone. I can't hear you. Nope, I can't hear you at all. Okay. I guess we're frozen for a minute. And I have no idea if I'm on here live by myself while she's getting back in or what's going on. So I am guessing I'm here waiting for her to come back. Yes, it says everyone can see and hear me. So I'm guessing she has some technical difficulties because she had switched her screen around and she's having to get back in. So if you guys will hang on for just a minute until she gets back in, because I have no idea what I'm supposed to be talking about. Hopefully she'll be back in soon. So, and if anybody's interested in that's listening out there and have kids, the Miss Tourism pageant is from age 5 and up. You have to actually be able to be on stage by yourself, walk out there by yourself and do each category. And it's on up. We have 70-year-olds that are in the classic division and things. And so anybody can get into it, including ones that have disabilities. It's not just, there is no box that we have to fit into to be in this pageant. Everyone is welcome, every ethnic group, every disability, everyone that wants to be a part of something. And it's an amazing, amazing group. And you can find them on the Miss Tourism pageants on Facebook. Miss Terry Alexander is the director, and she's absolutely amazing. You get your state title, and then you can compete at the live pageant. So check out the MissTourismPageants.com. And if you have any questions, my email's up there, all of my social media. You'll see hashtags with the Miss Tourism Pageants and where you can actually ask questions if you need to. So she's back.
I'm back. I heard everything you were saying. Okay.
Well, I didn't know until I saw the corner where it said that everyone can see and hear you. So I might as well just plug the tourism pageant, because this right here is basically what started everything. So
Wow.
that and my daughter. So
that and your daughter. So in finding success, what do you feel helped you to find success? You and your, well, let's say you, okay, because I'm talking to you, and I know your daughter does this as well. I would love for her to have been on, but she's down, poor baby.
Yes, yes.
She's down, and pain is taking over her life right now. So
yes, she's not happy.
No, she's not a happy camper, but you are. So
Yes.
How did you perceive your success? How did it start? What were your first steps in taking on this success?
At first, it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like I said, I was 47 years old, going to New York Fashion Week. Not really, I'd been out of modeling for years. So it was kind of overwhelming. And I got back and it was like, okay, wait a minute, I actually did this. And then the next go around, I started traveling with the Beautiful You Fashion Tour, doing more modeling shows all over the place. And then it was, okay, we've got the new pageant. I won the world title. and went to New York Fashion Week again, this time as a model and a designer. And it was like, okay, I can do this. Yes, I am older. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I said I turned 51 in March, but I've been a stay-at-home mom most of my life, taking
Mm-hmm.
my oldest daughter's 28, and then I have 25 and 23-year-old sons, then my 16-year-old son and my 14-year-old daughter. So I've had the full house, and wasn't really out. You know, I took
Mm-hmm.
care of kids, but
Right.
now at 50, almost 51, I have my biggest cheerleaders besides my daughter, and my oldest daughter and my closest
Look at
friend.
that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at those.
That's some of it. That some of those pictures I didn't think were going to turn out. So I was very shocked. I have an amazing Lisa Griffin, who is an amazing makeup artist and
Mm-hmm.
photographer, and Chris Hill. She's amazing with what she can do with the camera. Some of those pictures were done from her, Jesse Salazar, um, Brian Huffman. So I've got some very good people in my corner. My best friends, Vicky and Kim and Brandy, who pushed me, and they're my biggest supporters. I think Vicky's probably my biggest cheerleader, my biggest supporter out there. That they keep me going, besides my daughter, of course, because this is
Mm-hmm.
something we share together. But I want my kids to see and realize, because yes, this is later in life, that no matter what age you are, no matter what has happened in your life, good or bad, that you can still have a dream.
Right.
Sometimes it's something that you've always dreamed about, like my music. And sometimes it's a dream that you don't even realize, something that you're wanting to do, like the designing and stuff. I have
Mm-hmm.
fun with it. And my daughter's got the eye where she's actually able, she goes with shows and she helps fit the models into the gowns and stuff. And so it was an unrealized dream, but at almost 51 years of age, I'm living it. And I want my
Wow.
kids to see, and anybody else out there that has a dream that they're like, oh, I can't do this. Yes, you can do this. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you have a dream, you have a vision, and you have the drive, you can do this. If you are one of those that can push yourself to do it, you can be out there doing whatever you want to do. I mean, I still want to be on stage with a microphone singing to thousands, and I still have times that I am out there singing, but making the gowns and sending them every which direction and putting models in them and making them feel beautiful on the stage
Oh.
is something that I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that, like I was telling them when you were getting back on with the Miss Tourism pageant, we have 70, 75-year-olds that come out because they don't want to be done and
Mm-hmm.
basically call themselves old and be done with life. They want to still do things, and they're out
Yeah.
on stage doing what they love to do, and they're
Yeah.
still winning crowns. So I want my kids to see that mom tried, mom still did things. Yes, I was a stay-at-home mom for years, but now I'm my last two at home. I'm living life. I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet and just sit and do nothing. So,
Mm-hmm.
age is just a state of mind. It's a number and
Yes.
a state of mind. And
Yes.
I may be turning 51, but my mind is like, no, I'm not that old yet.
Oh no, you're not that old yet, and that's not
Oh
old
no.
now.
No,
That's
it's
not.
not.
It really
It's
isn't
not.
considered. I'm 59, and I
And so
don't
you don't
feel
look
old.
59. You
Oh,
don't look
well,
it.
I am all of 59. I will be 60 in October. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll see. And then
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
doing talk shows and stuff. I mean, you're doing things like this. You're doing something you love to do, instead of just saying, "Oh no, I'm ready to throw in the towel."
Well, I
I
was
will
pushed.
be,
I'm gonna
you
tell
know,
you, I was pushed. I was
yeah,
pushed by my producer and the one and only Louis Jones, who's behind the scenes working all the magic, but he pushed me to get out of my comfort zone, because I do model,
yes,
and I do it full time as much as I possibly can. I too have a situation here at home that I'm dealing with as well, as far as family members are concerned. But needless to say, it's not going to stop me from walking in my dream and walking in my.
exactly.
And I think that's what you're showing us right now, is that you can do, if you believe you can do it, you can do it at any stage of your life.
Yes,
And that's what I like to portray too. is
Yes.
at any stage of your life, you can have your dream. You just
Yes.
can't give up on yourself.
Mm-mm. No,
You
because
just
if you give
can't
up
give
on
up.
yourself, if you've got people that look up to you, if you've got kids or even friends and stuff that look up to you because of things that you've done, and you start giving up on yourself, you're basically saying, okay, I'm done. Life is basically going to be over. And I'm not ready
Mhm,
for that. I mean, I have, you know, my best friends, and I mean, Vicky is probably my biggest cheerleader out there. And then my friend Kim and Brandy, and they are just like, you're not giving up. Life is going to go on. You're not going to quit doing this. And
mhm,
and sometimes people have the support system they need, and sometimes they find out that they don't have it, and then they realize, wait, I do. I do.
mhm,
And things, I have a lot of changes that are getting ready to happen in life that have actually started happening in life. And I am making the most of life, but I want my kids to realize it doesn't matter how old you are. You can still
mhm,
do whatever you want to do and be happy. Be happy with the person that you're with, that you share your life with. Be happy with what you're doing, and your dream does not have to end. Your dream can be made a reality, and that's what I want them to see. Mom out there doing what it takes to keep going. I mean, my goal is to have more gowns and more stores.
mhm.
I have orders. I've got 3 wedding dresses I'm trying to get done, to be shipped off to other states. I've got the store in LA that's got some of my gowns. I'm on the designer boards in New York City and LA. I've got a
Uh-huh.
store owner in Florida that's wanting to put some of my gowns in there. So, I've got the Victoria Henley, the Magnifique show that we did, that I won overall designer. We did the iHeartRadio interview, which is going to be released soon. And I have my brand ambassadors, girls that I picked basically to model gowns and
Mhm.
get pictures out there and represent. So there's a lot of things going on, and
Do you feel the shift? Do you feel the shift that's happening?
there is a shift that's happening just because of also some personal things
Mhm.
that are amazing things that are going to be happening in the near future that I'm not going to
Oh,
share
you have to
yet.
come back and share. You have to
Yes,
come back and
yes,
share.
some life changes, um, but they're amazing. So that's all I'm going to say about that right now.
Okay.
They will be known soon. Um,
Okay.
but there is, I mean, there's between having a business and raising kids and doing something for fun and then turning it into an actual business
Mhm.
is it kind of
How did
makes you step back.
you manage to do that? How did you maneuver momhood, momhood, and become this awesome entrepreneur? How did you manage to bridge? Did you bridge the gap, or are you still just mom, and then you're the designer, and then you're a model, and then you're world's elite tourism model? I mean,
Well, I'm mom all the time. I mean,
okay,
that doesn't ever stop. Once you have that first one, you are mom all the time until the day
absolutely.
you leave the earth. Um, when we have the shows, I do step into the other role where I'm just like, okay, if I'm at a show that's by myself, then I am just the designer, the model, doing what I need to do. If my
Hmm.
daughter's there, I'm still mom, but she's standing next to me telling me, hey, this one's going to fit this and this one's going to fit that. I mean, she's got the eye because she's done enough with me of fashion
Hmm.
shows. She can kind of pick out on certain gowns what model's going to wear what. She's decided she likes to be behind the scenes also, and
Hmm.
I'm making her because she does have the eye for it, and she likes certain things, and she'll tell me that doesn't really look good, or when I'm designing a gown. She wanted a different gown for the pageant coming up this July in
Hmm.
Nashville, where she's competing for the title. And I told her, I said, well, guess what? We're going to come up with a design. You're going to help design your own gown, which kind of freaked her out a little bit. But if she wants to be in it, I'm going to, if this is really what you want to do, then you're going to do it.
Hmm.
So I kind of, I'm mom all the time. I've always got designs going through my head
Hmm.
that I will start making a gown. And then I'll be like, well, what if I do this? What if I do that? And I get completely away from what I was actually going to make. It turns into a different gown. So I have to go back, pick different material and stuff, and make the gown that I was originally going to do. And that's how a lot of them actually came about. is they were kind of either I made a mistake or I thought, well, what if I do this differently? Because I refuse. I will use the same material.
Mm-hmm.
I may do something similar, but I will not make the same
Same
exact
exact
gown
game.
twice. I
I love
won't
that.
do it.
I
I
love that.
refuse.
That's unique. You
Yeah.
know, that's very, 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 very interesting to me because I'm one that I don't like doing repeats.
Right.
You know, I don't like repeating the same outfits over and over and over again. You know,
Hmm.
I may do variations of, but you'll never see the same outfit over and over again.
Exactly. Exactly. And so that's one of the things. The only thing you're going to see the same is my tag in the side of the dress that says Bozaroma Designs. That's the only thing that you're going to see that's the same.
What's the
Um,
name of it? What's the name?
Bozarama Designs,
Those are wrong.
Bozarama, all one word, and then designs. So
Design.
it was
Okay.
fun because it started because I was making bows. Because after having my tomboy daughter, and then I get three boys in a row, and then they tell me, nope, this one's a girl. I was like, okay, I might as well start making bows for the outfits because, like, after three boys, I'm going to have a girly girl if it kills me.
Kills me.
She's still kind of a tomboy, but she did wear her
That's
bows.
okay.
And so that's how the Bozarama started. And it was just the Bozarama. And then when I started doing the gowns, it changed to Bozarama Designs because it got bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think when you were talking about the different stages, being the mom all the time, the designing always in my head, um, the modeling and stuff is when I'm there. That is something I don't do all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but we've got photo shoots or we've got a show, then I kick into that different mode. So that's not an all the time thing. That's basically a situation of when we're here, this is us. This is what I'm doing. But it's always, I mean, it's who I am. It's all part of who I am. So it's not really, I can't really say it's stages
Mm-hmm.
because it's all what I do.
Encompassing of who you are.
Exactly.
Wow. That's amazing. What matters to you as a mom and a model? What matters to you the most?
Um, well, I'm not going to go out in a bathing suit or anything that, is inappropriate because I do have kids, and my 14-year
Mm-hmm.
old, she's a typical teenage girl. Um, so there's so many different people out there that are doing things with modeling and stuff that they really don't care. They're just going to go into whatever they say, this is what I want you in. And I've told a designer before, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to walk in that. And I've actually turned down some designers at a couple of shows that I wasn't going to walk for them because of the style
Mm-hmm.
that representing as a mom, um, being in the pageant community, um, I want it to stay classy. I want it to stay clean. I want it to stay uplifting. I don't want anything
Mm-hmm.
vulgar or misleading.
Mm-hmm.
I want to people to actually be proud to say, hey, I know her,
Right.
and represent the right way, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
I don't I don't want anybody to be uncomfortable with something that I do, because there's a whole lot of that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm on the stage in a show, I want it to be, I mean,
Clean, elegant,
exactly.
sophisticated,
Yes. I want I,
elevated.
I want my daughter to be proud of me because this is something that we share, and I want her to be,
Yeah.
hey, that's my mom. This
Yeah.
is this is my mom. I want my best friends. I want Vicky and Kim and them to be like, that's our girl,
Mm-hmm.
proud of what I'm doing. I don't want anybody or even my family, the few members of my family that do support, cousins and stuff, that I don't want them to be like, oh, wait, no, we don't want that. I want them to be proud and be able to, they comment on things telling me congratulations and stuff. And I don't want them to be proud
Right.
that I have something that I'm going to stand up for. And there are things that I will refuse to do. And I hate that part of it because I wish everybody kind of wanted more of the classy look and, not just give in, oh, this designer wants you to wear this. If you're not comfortable, don't do it.
Do it.
I'm 51 years old. There are some things that I should not wear on stage and stuff. So, it's just kind of thinking about morals and where you stand and where you look
Mm-hmm.
at things and what you
Your
want people to perceive you.
Yeah, your principles come into play.
Exactly.
Your character comes into
Exactly.
play. Look at this.
Yes.
Explain this photo to me.
So these are Victoria Henley's the one in the middle. And we had judges during the Magnifique show that were judging the categories as far as all of the designers that were there. And I won
Mhm.
overall top designer with my evening gowns. Elizabeth, my daughter, is the one standing next to Victoria in the white jeans and the red and white and green. She is the
Uh-huh.
All American Miss Tourism 2024. I'm, of course, on the other side of Victoria. And then Madeline and Jordan are two of my brand ambassadors. Madeline is also an All American Miss Tourism. Jordan
Mhm.
represents another pageant. And I don't, for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the pageant. But
Okay.
she lives in Florida. But Victoria is also one of my brand ambassadors. She has modeled one of my gowns for the past 2 years. So I was able to bring back Elizabeth and Victoria and Madeline as brand ambassadors, and then Jordan is a new one, and then I have three others that are not pictured in this because they didn't have their crowns and stuff with them, so they didn't stand up with us. Yeah, and your sound is gone again. Uh-oh. We have some more technical difficulties going on. You're going to have to get out and come back in. Yes. Okay. We've got this. Yeah, and that is from, this picture is actually from a photo shoot we did with Brian Huffman and Jesse Salazar. Gulfport, Mississippi, the hotel that we were staying at was right across the street from the beach. And of course, I am a Mediterranean girl and had to get into the water, even though it was freezing cold. We had to be by the water. So that is one of the gowns that I made a few years ago, and I was never able to wear it because I messed up on my measurements. And now I was able to actually put it on and it fit. So it looked perfect between the water and the sand and stuff. So hopefully she will be back on here quickly. Um, okay, it says that you can still hear and see me. So I don't know if Louis got any more pictures and stuff he's wanting to post. The excitement and experience of New York Fashion Week is the unknown. You never know what is going to happen in New York Fashion Week. There are things when you are there that you see them and you can't unsee them. There are people from all different walks of life and designers that have different things that they do that, they're showcasing what they love, and mine is evening gowns because I want to make something that makes everybody feel good about themselves. Every woman deserves to feel beautiful, and I am actually working on a men's line too, which will be vests and things to match some of the gowns. But New York Fashion Week is different. I mean, it's
Right.
everybody from every walk of life
Right.
that you come across, and it's fun because they throw in their perspective on things. The models, I have some of them, they just get out there and have fun. They always ask because they see the no smile, just be serious. And I'll be like, with what you're wearing, get out there and have fun.
Fun.
I have a couple of gowns that some girls have worn
Mhm.
that they're like, well, what shoes do we wear? I'm like, what do you have? And I've had two of them literally that almost had a heart attack because I'm like, wear your combat boots. This is perfect. And they're going, okay. So I want them to get out. I want them to feel beautiful. I want them to be sassy. I want them to have fun. I want them to feel
Right.
like, one, they're representing my brand, the Buzzarama Designs, but I want them to go out there and have fun and showcase that dress and show it off the best that they
Mhm.
can.
What
So,
other opportunities would you like to pursue?
oh my gosh, I've done so much. I was actually teased earlier about, not knowing what all I've done in my life because, I've done the rodeos, I've done the modeling, I've done,
Wait,
I
stop,
had,
stop,
I did
back up.
barrel racing. I did barrel racing for a little while. Yeah, I had fun with that, and we had to put my horse down. Yes, I did, and I get teased all the time because I am still a jeans and boots girl. I
Okay.
will. Yes, that's my go-to. Um, I had my ceramic tiling company where my mom said I should have been born a boy because I was tearing my body up like a man because I would lay ceramic tile in houses and build
Mhm.
showers and things. I mean, I love doing it. I will make, if I see a cabinet or something that I want and but I want it done a different way. I have my own tools. I will get out there and I will build a cabinet myself
My
the way
girl,
that I want it. I know how to weld. I was taught how to
DIY.
weld and I have fun with welding and stuff. It's different. It's something that not everybody can do, but you still, all of that is still being creative. I
Right.
had my own page with my tiling and stuff, and my boys were my biggest muscle helping, um, with carrying supplies and stuff. And literally, I was subcontracted by big contractors to come in and do a job,
Mhm.
and I would do it. I've got pictures showing some of my favorite jobs that I've done after I did my own house years ago. And it's just something I love to do because anything that's creative.
Mm.
I do want more of my music that I sing country and Christian. And so, being on stage with that microphone
Can,
is more of what I want to do.
can you give me a little something?
No, 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 no. Not right now because I had the flu and strep, so my voice is not back to where it needs to
Okay.
be.
Okay.
But I do
Next
have
time I get
TikTok.
on. Next time I get
I
on,
do.
you have to have a little
Okay,
something
I
ready
can
for
do that. But anybody that does want to hear any music, I have TikTok. It's under Michelle A. Douglas. So I've got some of the videos that are posted of me singing different things. I am more the Martina McBride, Carrie Underwood style.
me.
But on my TikTok, there's also my magazine covers that I've been in, and just other things basically with my life, bringing awareness to the autism and PTSD. I'll post different things about that, but I do have music on there because my manager was like, get your videos on there. It's like, okay. Some of them
Absolutely.
are pageant videos. So, but it's anything creative. I mean, I have fun
How
with
do you
it.
prepare for all of this? How do you compartmentalize everything and bug
No,
out, block out time? How in the
I
world do
am
you do all this, Michelle?
I am literally like a squirrel. I tease my daughter that she has squirrel moments, and I could say I've got my squirrel moments where I will be working on something, and if I'm having issues with some material that I'm working on, I'll put it aside and I'll go start something else. I have
Hmm.
3 gowns right now going that I have been frustrated with that I haven't picked back up that I need to finish because it's like, okay, I'm going to fight with this material and stuff. So I it is basically whatever mood I'm in that it is, okay, I'm going to work on this or I'm going to do this and hope that things kind of tie together. So my mother tells me that I'm scatterbrained half the time, but yet I still make it work. I still pull it together.
Of
And
course.
my friends are just like, how in the world? Because I do. I have lots of squirrel moments. So I never know how
Gather
my
those
day.
nuts, baby. Gather those nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
Those
I
moments of
substitute.
inspiration.
Yeah, I substitute for the school system that my 2 youngest are in, and so the only way that I know my day is gonna go the way it's supposed to is if I am in class, and then the rest of the day, I have no idea what's gonna happen, because if I come home and I work on a gown or we've got games or, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. It just depends on where my mind's going at that time.
Wow. Wow. You are such an inspiration. You are
No,
such an
thank you.
inspiration. And in finding success, what's been hard, Michelle?
What's really been hard is the people that tell you that you can't do it. The ones that you
Mm.
find out you spend time with, they're in their lot in your life and you find out they don't support you. My mom, for the longest time was you need to live in reality. And I'm like, Mom, this is my reality. I came back from LA. I'm like, this is my reality. She's got my gowns in her store. And my mom
Mm-hmm.
started realizing, okay, I'm really doing this. But I've had some family and people in my life that didn't support what I was doing that are kept telling me, find a real job. This is just dream
Oh,
stuff. But I'm choosing to make my dream a reality. Like I said, I've got my biggest cheerleaders and my biggest supporters, the ones that push me to keep doing what I'm doing. And with certain things going on in my life right now, those are the ones that I lean on. Those are the ones that I look to anybody else that doesn't, that thinks I'm living in a dream world or just doesn't support the idea of what I'm doing. They're just not going to be the ones that I go to in my life. So I've actually let go of some people that, you know, it just, I'm not ready to sit down and do nothing. I'm not ready to just be the mom or the spoiling grandmother. I still want to be out there doing things and living life. And
Mm-hmm.
so I look
And
to,
inspiring others, because you're a huge inspiration.
yeah. I mean, Vicky and I were talking about it earlier. This is my life. This is what I want to do. This is how I want, my kids to realize no matter what you've got going on and no matter who's in your corner, if you've got a dream and you want to do something, you can do it. You can make it a reality no matter what it is, completely something off the wall crazy. If you're passionate about it, then you can do it.
Like riding, barrel riding and welding,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
coming home sewing the fine gown. Okay.
Exactly. 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 Now, falling, I had my days of breaking horses and falling, kind of takes a toll on the body. So I haven't, I still love horseback riding and stuff and
So
motorcycles
do I.
and stuff, but, that's just kind of in the past a little bit now. So my main thing right now, I will still, give me a room that you need to redo. I even told my mom because she had a flood from the last freeze that we had, a pipe burst, and she was talking about carpet. I'm like, Mom, just let me go pick out tile. I will come tile the house for you. And she's just like, I don't know. And I was like, well, I'll come do it. Just,
Just let me do
it's,
it, Mom.
yeah,
Just
it's something
move over.
creative.
Let me be creative,
Well,
and you'll
that
have
and
a
the
beautiful
fact of,
story.
the way she views things as far as what some of the things I've done, that it's like, you're going to have to look at this tile job every day and realize my daughter did this. So it's an ulterior motive of getting her mind into the things of, that I do. So
Is that what you would consider part of the downside?
yes, is the not everybody's spring. And I know that everybody has different ways of looking at things, but it's everybody wants to be supported.
Hmm.
Everybody wants to know that you've got people in your corner. And I understand there's always going to be those ones that say, no, you can't do this, or no, this is, something out of your league or whatever.
Right.
Nothing is out of reach. Nobody is better than anybody else. We're all living life. We're trying to belong. We're trying to succeed. We're trying to build something. We want, you know, the once in a lifetime
Legacy. This
soulmate
legacy.
love. We want the
Right.
careers that, are making us happy. We want our kids to be happy. We want to live our dreams. And a lot of people just look at it and say it's just a dream. It's never going to happen.
What's
But
been your What's been your biggest accomplishment so far? And what's some advice that you would give aspiring moms?
my biggest accomplishment so far is that my kids are still alive. So my 25-year-old is my miracle boy from a hunting accident back in 2017.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but, I've got 3 adult children that they are living life. They are alive. They've got careers. They've got things that they're doing. And you are supposed to raise your kids to be able to stand alone on their own and be members of society and be successful. And they're doing that. My oldest daughter is
Hmm.
in New York. She'll be going back to LA because she writes
Hmm.
screenplays and stuff. She'll be going back to LA here in a few months. My oldest boy, my middle boy has his own company and everything. And so I want my younger two to be able to have what they want to do. And as far as aspiring models, it does not matter what size or shape, how tall, how short, anything,
Hmm.
if you've got a disability or anything else. One of the things with the Beautiful You Fashion Tour and then some of the other directors that do fashion shows and things is we always make gowns. They ask us to bring the whole house basically
Hmm.
of every size, not just the size 2, because not every model is that little bitty size 2 that's going to fit into a box. A lot of them, I mean, people look at things, and right now the big conversation is Marilyn Monroe, she was a size 14, but everybody thought she was the most beautiful person in the world.
World.
And so you've got these models, that these girls that they want to model, and they're not that little bitty fit in the box person, but yet you put a gown on them and they rock that stage like they are it. And everybody's looking at them and oohing and awing. And it doesn't matter if you've got a disability. It doesn't matter if you've got a scar. It doesn't matter if you are missing a limb. If you think you're bigger than what you are, or you're too short, because there's always been that industry standard of, they want you 5'9" and above. I'm 5'6". So,
Well, it's about time that we've changed and offered diversity.
yes. And I've got gowns fitting the little ones, fitting zeros, I all the way up. I've got one gown that's like a 24. So I make gowns, when I come up with a design, and I may see a design that I like and be like, okay, wait a minute, how can I do this, but do this instead, and come up with something completely new. And it's
Right.
a bigger size, because they ask us to bring everything to fit any size model, anybody that's there. And our job is basically, as designers, to make the models represent you in the best way they can and make them feel beautiful. They are out there
And
doing what they
if you do that, Michelle, if you do that, you make the model feel beautiful, they will represent you as to the
exactly
best of their ability. Because
exactly.
not only are they representing you, but they're representing themselves as well.
In
So
the
your
modeling
brand,
world,
yes, in a world that told them they couldn't do it.
exactly.
So
One of my brand ambassadors from the Magnifique show, Monica, she is absolutely amazing. She is older than I am. She is beautiful. And she got out there, she's like, I don't think I could wear that. And I'm like, just try it. And we had to try a couple of different dresses on to fit her. She got out there and she rocked that stage like she owned it. And that's why I chose her as a brand ambassador, because she got out there and just did everything. So, oh, I see a next question. How do I handle rejection as a model? I have been rejected as a model because of my age, because they're like, no, we don't want you. Okay, you don't want me, that's fine, because somebody else is going to want to. I've had a few rejections, and then I've had a couple of them that actually came back and said, okay, you know what, go ahead, come on. But there are those that they are stuck on that you need to fit into this box, and not everybody's going to fit into that box. And that's okay, because that just means that box isn't for you. That company isn't for you. The styles that they have isn't for you. Just because you get rejected, you're going to have so many others on the other side. They're going to say, come on, we want you. And so the way I look at it is, not everybody's going to like me or love me. They're not going to like my gowns. There's always going to be those ones that are negative no matter what.
You're right.
But there's the ones that do want, and those are the ones that you wait for, because if you concentrate on that rejection, you're going to get heartbroken. You're going to get to where you don't believe in yourself anymore. And it's our job to straighten the crown, not tear them down.
Absolutely. What are your final thoughts? We're coming into those last couple of minutes. Give me your final thoughts.
Oh my goodness. Basically, I don't know. I mean, like I said, we are supposed to, as women, we are supposed to encourage and support, be cheerleaders, straighten the crown, not tear them down, not, make it to where you're discouraging people. You're supposed to help people. And I'm one of those that I will go up behind somebody if they've got something, a thread loose, and I'm like, let me fix that real quick. I will compliment people just to compliment them, because you don't know whose day you're going to change by, giving them a compliment and saying hello and smiling. You could make the worst day somebody's having a great day. So I just like to be positive.
I love you, Michelle. Thank you for everything that you offered us this evening. I wish your daughter the best. I wish your son the best.
Thank you.
I wish you the best in your endeavors.
Thank you.
Take care, and we will talk again, because I know you got something special coming up.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Peace and love. Model love, baby.
Yes.
All right.
Bye bye.